The president has obviously been eager to have states reopen. He said in a recent interview that the virus was under control, or at least as well under control as it can be. Is that an assessment that you would agree with?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. If you talk about, and I think what the president was referring to, he does, and as the president wants to look at the brighter side of things. If you look at the curves of the states that were hot in the sense of surging, remember we had a baseline, Jeff, of 20,000 cases a day, and that was a problem because if you want control, you've got to get the base down way lower than that. So when you start off with a baseline of 20, 20, 20 over multiple weeks, then when you open up, whether you do it prematurely or you do it correctly, but some people don't abide by it, what you see is what we saw. Went to 40, 50, 60, 70, which was just not acceptable if you're trying to get something under control. It's starting to come back down now. So you're starting to see the curve go in the right direction. That's fine. But the thing that we've got to make sure of, that the reason why we want to absolutely get the public to appreciate that that doesn't have to happen when you try to open and get the economy back. You don't need to either shut down completely or let it rip, as I say. And I use that terminology when we were talking about that, you might remember, Jeff. There is a middle ground where you can prudently open. So I think the misperception among some is that either you're going to shut us down completely or we're going to do whatever we want. No, that was the reason for the guidelines of opening up the country. If you do it prudently, you don't have to shut down. And so what we're looking at now, and Dr. Birx has pointed this out correctly, that there are some states in that yellow zone, as it were, where they're just starting to have the inkling of a percent positive going up. So what we've got to do is make sure we don't let those little blips turn into surges. And, I'll repeat here quickly, the 5 or 6 things that you do: wearing a mask consistently and properly, physical distance, avoiding crowds, stay away from bars and places where people congregate. Outdoors is always safer and better than indoors, and hand hygiene. That seems, Jeff, so simplistic, but it's true because the states that have done that, Arizona went way up and they came right down by doing those simple things. And if everybody used that as kind of the guideline basic staples of what you do, we can avoid those surges and we could gradually progress towards opening the country.